More information about that big old scammer bammer.
Wow.
What?
You're on a whole different plane of existence when it comes to cringe. We're here to talk about that influencer that was scamming people.
Allegedly.
And we received a ton of emails and a ton of messages overwhelming our inboxes about their personal stories. And I learned a couple things that really shocked the hell out of me. There were things happening with this influencer that I didn't even know people actually did.
And we also have an update about the post that you likely saw going around on Facebook about the person who bought the $1,000 mystery box who never received it.
Oh, you have more information about that?
Yeah, straight from the source.
The one thing I really want to start this video with, we were friends with this person, we're shocked that this happened with this person, just as shocked as we were the other day. And I'm even more shocked after I'm seeing your screenshots, reading your emails, and everything else in between. There were a couple of people who are right now out of a lot of cash. And then there's something really strange that I did not even expect to hear that was happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. I literally just got finished reading about
You read that thing?
Yeah.
I read it and I said to Heather, I go, you have to read this because it's shocking. The whole thing is shocking. But before we get into that, go over to MISCHIEFtoys.com. We have a Valentine's Day figure dropping very soon and we are super stoked about it. We're going to be dropping a promo real soon, so you're going to know everything you need to know about this Valentine's Day figure. But if you go and buy Sketch Ghastly on MISCHIEFtoys.com right now, you have an early shot at getting that Valentine's Day figure, meaning that everybody who buys the Sketch Ghastly has a shot at the Valentine's Day figure, and then if it sells out by the people who bought the Sketch Ghastly, that means they're all gone. So go over to MISCHIEFtoys.com and buy your Sketch Ghastly now so you're prepared for our week of Valentine's Day shenanigans.
In our last video about this situation, we mentioned that we're not going to mention the name, although most people either guessed or had already seen the posts about this particular influencer, and we really don't know the situation. We really don't want to soil their name. We just want to talk about the situation and give them the benefit of the doubt, although from what we've seen, I'm not sure it's very well deserved, and I really hate saying that.
The whole situation is very hard. I told you that the other night, and I am still very hard.
That's weird. From what we see, they are not operating at all on social media, and they do have like a couple of pops on the website, but if you purchase from a website and not like PayPal Friends and Family, you could always contact your credit card company if you don't get it. So we didn't really feel the name again to shout their name from the rooftops. However, someone, despite what I said in our last video saying, don't come at me for not saying their name to protect the community, someone decided to do that. They left a comment and they were like, you guys should protect collectors. They have an eBay store that is still active with 1,200 collectibles on there. And how dare you not warn people about this, and you should have done your homework and made sure they didn't have an eBay store. Well, when I went to go and reply to that person, explaining that we did do our homework and explaining that that isn't their eBay store, because I did my homework, the comment was gone. So I don't know if they realized they were wrong and they deleted it, if YouTube deleted it, or if for some reason I just couldn't find it. I don't know. But I just want to say that I was completely unable to find an eBay store that was actually run by this particular person. There is one that has the same name, but this person adopted that same name well after this eBay store was created, and it has nothing to do with them at all.
Was it my mom? Because my mom used to yell at me a lot about my homework. So the very interesting part about this entire thing, which is sort of like kicking this video off, is about curated boxes, which I did not even know was a thing. And I barely could wrap my head around what this person was telling me about a curated box.
I've heard about that, but I never really, like, we didn't really get too deep into mystery boxes. Like, if we saw a mystery box go up for sale, it would be like horror box or pop culture box, or like, here's the big grail you can hit, but then there's going to be like $5 pops in the rest of the boxes, or whatever the case may be.
Like Mystery Grail.
Yes, but I've heard of curated boxes, I just assumed it was another way of saying, this is a horror box, this is a superhero box, this is this box, this is that box. But either my assumptions were wrong, or this particular person had a different idea of what a curated box is. I'm not really sure.
So apparently, one of the people that we had talked to in an email stated that they were handing Funko Pops over to this influencer.
Yes, and essentially they asked if the influencer could curate a box of pops that this person was looking for, and it would be of lower value than the pops they actually sent over were.
Which is so strange to me, because why wouldn't the person, and I'm not coming down on this person, by the way, I really appreciate the information, but if it were me, I would just go and sell my things or trade my things for equal value, or just come out better on top than this.
I have an answer for you. So because this person is a name in the Funko community, they are very well trusted, people feel like they are well versed in fakes and things, they felt safe doing, it was almost like sort of a trade, but they were giving their items up for a lesser value.
Yeah, it's really weird.
But I think...
Well, it turns out at the end they weren't even trusted.
Okay, they trusted them because of the name. These companies that we've seen were legitimate until they weren't. Kraken's collection or whatever, for example, like, people were getting their stuff until they didn't.
Big Apple.
People were getting their stuff until they didn't. When you're building a name for yourself, you are trustworthy as long as you continue to do what you're supposed to do.
I just personally would not do this with some influencer. Give your Funko Pops off to somebody and say, okay, I know I'm not getting the same value back, and it almost is a trade. It's sort of like what it is, but like
it's like a trade, but at a lower value. I understand.
It's weird. I don't know. It's weird. I still can't wrap my head around it. But this was happening with this particular person, and they were trading off a bunch of stuff in order to get music Funko Pops, like hardcore music Funko Pops.
Yes, and Pops that are easily faked.
This person was continuing to send this influencer stuff, and they would message and say, I got even more stuff to send you now, and I want this box to be valued at this. And it just kept happening for like an entire year.
Almost. So I'd rather us get our facts sort of straight before we say an entire year, because it wasn't quite a year.
It was like January to October.
I think it was January to November. It was a lot. January 16th of last year, they were looking to get rid of some pops. They sent pictures. The influencer asked if there were condition issues, and then the person who was sending their stuff said, all are easy 9s, they're all in protectors. The only thing that has any sort of issue is an OG Spider-Man because of its age. It wasn't like clear damage, it was more like shelf wear.
Right.
The influencer said that they don't trade, but in my opinion, like, this is sort of a trade, but
that's exactly my point. That's what's weird to me about this.
The PPG is approximately $2,800, and they asked the influencer if they would consider $2,000. The PPG was $2,800. They said they'll do $1,800.
I mean, it's fine when you could actually get the money or the box or whatever you're owed.
They confirmed that they received the items.
Can I pause you for 1 second?
Yeah.
There's one other big issue with this.
What?
Funko values bounce a lot.
They do.
So you're talking the span of almost an entire year.
Yeah.
So by the end of the year, like i.e. 2024, things like significantly went down in value. Anything could happen. Like, that's why this is, I don't do what you do out there.
Well,
but that's not something I would do.
My best guess is they were expecting to get a box within like a month or so.
That's my guess too.
So now comes April. Okay, remember we started mid-January. Now it's the end of April. It's not even the beginning. It's the end of April. And then they say, good morning, going through some storage, found some more pops if you're interested. The person replied, yeah, send them to me. And then now I've got to find more stuff for your box. The value of this second round of pops is $940. They're asking for only $350 trade value added to their box.
That's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. That's what I'm saying. None of this makes any sense. Okay.
Now there's more stuff coming their way. PPG is $368. Can you add $200 to my box? Total of $2,350 for the Music Pops curated box. They confirm everything has arrived. Oh my gosh, this is insane. So there's like 2 or 3 more additions to
Yes. So this person that is wanting the curated box continues to send product to this person. At one point, they're sending like 6 boxes full of stuff. And it isn't bad stuff either. The photos that are being shared with us showing like what has been sent is high dollar stuff. This equated to, I think, a total of like $4,000.
Something crazy.
Of like products, $4,000.
At least. Because where I'm at in this conversation, now it's the end of July, $2,250 box. You know that that's way less than the value of the actual items they sent. The influencer says, I haven't forgotten, send me more suggestions. I'm looking for the OG Purple Haze, but it's so hard to find in decent condition and being real. So it appears that they're actually looking and working on finding these items that this person wants. Yes, but they're having a hard time finding them. So then they add some more stuff to their list.
Their list for the influencer to find.
For the influencer to find. Finally, mid-September, hey, I'm almost to the collection with your good stuff. Hoping to start working on it by the end of the week. I'll check those pops and box you up. They're referring to, I'm working on it. I'm going to box it up.
The influencer's getting it ready for this person.
So that was September 22nd. This is October 6th. Hope this message finds you well. Just wanted to see how my box was going and when you expect to ship. No reply. October 14th. How is the box going? Any idea when shipping? No reply. October 21st. Just wanted to follow up on my box. Thank you. October 27th. Have you ghosted me? October 28th. The influencer replies, I'm so sorry, I would never ghost you. I had a life thing happen and have been away from it all for the last few weeks. I am getting back into it and I'll get you settled up ASAP. November 12th. Any idea when you'll be shipping my box? Thank you. Hello, not trying to be a pain, but we started this process in January of this year. I am waiting on over $2,200 worth of OG music grails from a consignment box we agreed on based on items I sent you. I would just like some sort of follow-up or information regarding this as I feel I am just being ignored. I'm not trying to be difficult, but just wanted to put things in perspective and receive some updates as I am sure you would want the same, waiting on over $2,200 worth of items. November 22nd. Do you have an estimated time? December 2nd. Either you've blocked me or not responding, or I don't know. Just a follow-up would be nice. Thanks.
That's when they realized that it was all over. I want to preface all of this with, I hope that this influencer is okay. A lot of people have messaged us and they're like, hey, this happened to me, or this is a scenario I went through. Some people ended up getting their money back or their products. Some people didn't. But at the end of pretty much everybody's like comment or message or email, it stated, but I hope that they're doing okay. So people actually care, even though they're, going through hard times with this influencer or had something bad happen through this influencer, people still do care. Yeah. And we do too. The reason why we talk about it is for the community. Now, I know you're going to say, well, you're not mentioning this influencer's name. I don't think it's the right thing to do for us right now because I don't want this person to get inundated right now, because we still haven't figured out what the truth is. Now, if this person shows back up and it's middle fingers everywhere, obviously we would say, okay, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to put us or anybody else in a situation where it could become real ugly.
Chances are, if you're involved in any sort of Funko group, you've seen what's going on.
Now, the person that we were talking about with the $1,000, you said you had an update on that?
Yes. So I had actually reached out to the original person who posted the situation the other day about I had purchased a $1,000 mystery box. I haven't been able to get in contact. I have surpassed the time of fighting back. I actually reached out to them because people were saying in comments of their posts that the influencer had contacted this person and they were working it out.
Oh, interesting.
But I didn't see any comments from the person who made that post that said, hey, I was contacted and we're working it out. I basically said, I hope it's okay I message you. I introduced myself and I said I wanted to follow up and was curious if you got a hold of this person. And they said yes. They did reach back out and we were talking about it yesterday. I said, may I ask if you came to a resolution? They said, I would say kind of. I was told that they will get me my box or my money back, but it would still possibly take a while.
I think that this person got in over their head. If they were making a curated box for that one person, I'm sure they were doing it for a lot of people. they probably got in over their head. Values of Funko Pops and other products or whatever started to fall because people were trading other things. It wasn't just Funko. There were comic books involved in it. Ghastlies from Mischief Toys were involved. Like Pokemon cards, I think I read. Chomps. There were a lot of things involved in these, not trades, but curated boxes or sales of collections. I'm not entirely sure why this influencer would go so hard on something like this. I
don't understand how you can say you're selling a mystery box and either not have the product on hand. Overselling, I sort of, like, inventory gets off. It's rare.
This is almost like one of those people that you hire that does the shopping for you. They charge you a fee to shop for you, and then they're also getting the products that you want. A lot of, like, actors and actresses do this. They have somebody that goes out and just buys them all their things. Okay. So it's sort of like that, but different, because this person took on a ton of collectibles. And being buried under that many collectibles, then you have to go out and get more collectibles so you can create this box in hopes that you actually find this stuff, which is the other crazy part to me, because you're telling people, well, give me a list of things that you want. Who says that you can even find any of the things that are on the list? I myself would not put myself in this scenario. I think the influencer got way in too deep, could not find their way out, and then disappeared off of social media, they disappeared last year, like December maybe was the last post? November? And that's the last time anybody had heard from them until what you just told me.
You shouldn't spend the money that someone pays you unless they either receive what they paid you for or you just don't spend it in case you need to return it. But, like, why would you sell something that you don't have?
This whole situation is so convoluted. Maybe this person, this influencer, have been doing this for many years and it was working for them. Them going around and shopping for somebody else and trying to find these Funko Pops, I mean, it's just unbelievable. That's giving me anxiety just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, if that were my task, I would say I would give that up, like, right away. I want nothing to do with it. But here's the thing. When we're telling you this as, I guess you call us influencers or YouTubers or whatever you want to call us, do not trust anybody on the internet.
This person created content and they had a website and they had gone to events and fans of theirs had met them and people had good transactions. That's the problem with all this, because they were trustworthy until they weren't.
You just can't trust anybody anymore. I don't know what to tell you. Make sure when you're using PayPal or one of those things that there is a way of getting your money back if a problem happens.
Luckily, a lot of transactions happen through their website, but again, if you're getting excuses and you're past the chargeback date, you're screwed.
That was like a whole situation where that person was having a box curated for them. Now, to that person, I am so sorry you lost all your money. By reading all the messages, I was looped, like loopy. I was like lost in it for a while, and I had to continue to go back and forth. Like, what am I reading here? It was like I was trying to understand what the hell was going on.
It's
a
lot.
By the end of it, I read it all, and I was just like, people are doing this?
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't wrap my head around that people are actually doing shit like this. It's crazy. As of right now, a lot of the information that we've gotten is very similar to that. Will we make more content about this influencer? Possibly in the future. If you want to share stuff with us and you haven't already, email gastlecast@gmail.com.
And if you've been in these situations and come to some sort of resolution, let us know as well.
Yeah, would love to know about resolutions, because there are some people who emailed us and said, look, it took a long time to either get my money or get whatever, but I did end up getting it in the very end. And then there are some people who had decent transactions and then started noticing at the very end that this person stopped communicating as much. There's a lot of scenarios that are happening here. You know, it's really weird. Us sitting here talking about somebody who has like no name, we can't talk about their name or we don't feel comfortable in doing it. So for those out there who aren't sure, I would recommend going to the Gastlecast We Hunt Together group and looking in there, because you will find the answers you're looking for right away and who this person is. So even though I'm not telling you, you certainly can find this information. Again, we're really sad and upset that this happened. We hate seeing that this happened to people. We have actually had situations where we've been scammed like this before. We know how it feels. Maybe not the same value as some of you out there, but it hurts when it happens. It sucks. And definitely don't just buy from anybody, and certainly do not send your entire collection just to anybody. Make sure that you check everything out first. Guys, we want to know what you think about all this and more in the comment section down below. In every video, we like to shout out to some of our patrons from Patreon. In this video, we'd like to shout out to Susan Amundsen, Timmy Minaj, Gustavo Quintero, Ronaldo Gomez, Tanya Arlafond, Nathan Heckman, Robert Williams, Sack of Potato, Jeremy Strechter, and Renee Marin. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. We appreciate all of our patrons. You guys are awesome. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Gastlecast if you want to find out how you can support this channel and hang out with us every single month on a random Saturday where we hang out, do giveaways, and show you upcoming Mischief Toys things. It is a real blast. You don't want to miss it. Our patrons absolutely love this monthly meetup. Check it out, patreon.com/Gastlecast. Hit the like button, subscribe button, and a little bell. That way you'll know anytime we go live or post brand new content. You don't want to miss our new content, and you definitely want to join us live every Sunday between 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, that's all we've got. Thank you for staying until the end. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.